Hi, and welcome to the Elite Method Roadmap, where I'll walk you through our complete system for psychology-driven marketing. I'm Rai Cornell, Marketing Psychology Strategist and founder of Cornell Content Marketing. Prior to throwing myself full-time into what was then my side business in the marketing industry, I spent 8 years working my way toward being a counselor in the prison system, studying human behavior, relationships, neuropsychology, and decision-making. Now, at Cornell Content Marketing, we use those same psychological models of mental health and behavior to help you build a marketing strategy that guides buyers to choosing you without short sighted or manipulative marketing tactics we're all so tired of seeing and experiencing. We call our process the Elite Method. As a company, we're on a mission to protect businesses and buyers from bad marketing and to serve the world by healing commercial communications. That means healing the relationship you have with your potential buyers before they're even considering buying your product or service. We want to make sure that your brand is positioned in a positive light, that they only have positive experiences with you, and that you're able to see positive gains from your marketing, as opposed to using expensive and manipulative tactics that often ruin a brand's reputation and ROI. Unlike most marketing strategy frameworks, the Elite Method works, and it will continue to work long into the future, no matter what technological changes come our way. And here's why. First, even though it's very tempting to cater to the AI bots, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the constant algorithm and platform updates too. There's only one thing that will never, ever change. Humans are the ones making the purchase. We have to always bring our focus back to the humans with the actual buying power. And luckily for you, Google's absolute number one priority is, and always will be, ensuring a positive user experience. Since Google cares about the human experience, it will value your content over the competition if your content creates a great human experience. Secondly, buyers have their guard up high. Cold outreach over email and LinkedIn rarely work. Why? Because everyone is tired of being pitched at the first and second points of contact. You have to earn your buyer's trust before you can even begin to talk about what you can do for them. Third, full funnel marketing is the most effective for B2B businesses. If you're running book a call or book a demo ads, you're sending people who know nothing about you to the bottom of the funnel. That's an uncomfortable, jarring feeling for prospects, so they hop right on out of your funnel and they never want to come back. Instead, when you start at the top of the funnel and guide buyers downward to decision and action, they feel confident in choosing you and they do so gladly. Fourth, buyers are savvy and you have to treat them so. We've all been on the receiving end of some really terrible marketing, whether it's high-pressure sales situations that prey on a buyer's ignorance, or ads that create FOMO and use scarcity tactics or peer pressure, or language that makes them feel stupid for not giving a company their money. So much of what we see in the marketing world is manipulative. The Elite Method ensures that your content is focused on what will make prospects feel positive, memory anchoring emotions, and form long-lasting oxytocin-induced bonds with your brand. Your marketing must respect your buyer, and in return, you'll win the respect and admiration that you crave from your prospects. Next, the market needs you to be buyer-centric, not egocentric. Too many marketing and sales strategies jump right into features, benefits, and budgets. That needs to stop. The Elite Method is about catering to what your buyer needs emotionally, cognitively, and behaviorally in order to move them closer to you and ultimately choose you over the competition. And finally, marketing should always do the heavy lifting for your sales team. Every good sales rep knows that sales is all about forming relationships. Imagine if you could form a trusting, emotionally bonded relationship with your buyer before they ever get to your sales rep. That's how the Elite Method works. All of this culminates in everything you've been wanting for your brand: high organic visibility, increased organic inbound traffic, a strong, trustworthy, and attractive brand reputation, clear differentiation from your competition, educated prospects who are easy to convert, and happy buyers who are easy to retain and become incredible brand ambassadors for you. So let's look at exactly how the Elite Method works. First of all, this method is extremely effective for B2B brands and companies that have longer sales cycles or find it more difficult to explain their value and differentiation to buyers. When we work with companies and we deploy our elite method for them, they're often starting from a place where they're spending thousands of dollars a month on ads, and that's just not sustainable. Or they're struggling to reach the top of the search engine results page. They're trying everything that they can think of, like paying for backlinks and generating tons of content for SEO purposes, and they're just not reaching the positions they want. Oftentimes, their marketing is overly salesy. There's a huge difference between sales and marketing, and sales-specific language in your marketing is actually hurting you because it doesn't jive with the psychological stage of change your buyer is in when they first encounter you. Your sales team might be working too hard to explain your company's service and value, and your happy customers, who you've worked so hard to close and retain, describe you as the best kept secret in the industry. But you don't want to be a secret anymore. So let's look at this new way of approaching marketing from a psychology-driven perspective with the ELITE, that's ELITE, method as your guide. The first E in our ELITE method is examine. Examine your strategy, your systems, and your assets. You have to look at everything you're using and producing, including your content, your copy, your branding, the technology platforms you're using, your data and your metrics, and your feedback from customers. All of this is going to give us a picture of where you're starting today and what we need to improve in order to align to your buyer's psychology. Examining where you are is also the first point in building a bridge to your ideal buyer that's going to guide them seamlessly back to your doorstep. Next is learn. You have to learn the psychology of your ideal buyer. You have to craft your ideal customer profile. You have to define your target audience roles, prioritize those roles, and then complete a prospect psych profile for each role. You have to combine empathy exercises, data mining, competitor analyses, as well as sales and marketing insights to figure out exactly what your prospects are thinking, feeling, and doing. And this tells us where your prospects are so we can start building that seamless bridge back to your brand. Now, I really want to home in on a psychological model that has proven extremely effective for helping people, particularly with depression and anxiety, which are very deep-seated emotional experiences that we often think are out of our control. But in fact, they are very controllable. And this is what's called the CBT triangle. The CBT triangle teaches us that our thoughts affect our feelings, which affect our behaviors, and our behaviors affect our thoughts and our experiences of the world, which then cycle back around again and again to affect our feelings and emotions, which then further impact our behaviors and our choices and so on. Now, oddly enough, these psychological processes line up perfectly with the sales funnel. When people are at the brand awareness stage, it's all about their thoughts, their knowledge, and what they think about what they encounter in the world. This is where they come to know about you. When people show interest in your brand, that's because they're having positive feelings and emotions that are encouraging them to take steps closer to you. This is where they start to like you. Then, do they actually act on those feelings by way of their behaviors? When they make a decision to engage or buy from you, they're indicating that they trust you and are choosing you, which is demonstrated through their behavior. The CBT triangle also lines up with critical marketing KPIs, such as visibility metrics, brand loyalty metrics, engagement, and buying behaviors. The CBT triangle is just one of many psychological paradigms that inform our elite method strategies. But that's one of the simplest and most profound, and one of my favorites. Next, we go over to implement. Once you identify who you are as a brand, and you've examined where you're starting, and you've learned about the buyer psychology of the people that you want to connect with, next, you have to implement the connection, which is that bridge that guides them back to you. This is where you're going to implement your psychology-driven demand generation strategy. And we break this into the 4 building blocks of marketing: motivation, method, messaging, and mechanisms. First, what's your motivation? Is it purely based on sales? Is it purely focused on the conversion? If so, your buyers are going to feel that, and they're going to put their guard up. Or is your motivation focused on relationship building, which often requires more altruistic tactics in the beginning? Are you really trying to help your buyer and guide them to being a more educated purchaser? Next is method. What is the method you're using to achieve your campaign objectives? Oftentimes, when we see manipulative and icky feeling marketing out there, those methods are scarcity, peer pressure, FOMO, or these too good to be true guarantees. And those don't feel good. We want to make sure that your marketing leaves people feeling good, because the more you can cause them joy and give them those dopamine hits that satisfy what their brain is craving, the stronger the bonds they're going to form with your brand. Next, what is your message? How are you communicating to them? What kinds of connotation do your words carry? What's the visual message that you're communicating? How is that message showing up? All throughout the 5, not 4, we'll get to that in a minute, stages of the sales funnel. And finally, what are the mechanisms by which you're connecting with that target audience? Are you meeting them where they're most receptive? Or are you trying to force your way in when the doors are shut? Or, worse still, are you speaking to an empty room? Once we've put together the implementation plan for your marketing strategy, then this is where we really get to dig into the transformation of your brand online. Now, as I mentioned before, there are actually 5 stages of the sales funnel, not 4. Most marketers will tell you that the stages are brand awareness, interest, decision, and action. But at Cornell, we believe there are actually 5. Marketing does not end at the transaction. If that's the case, your buyers will feel that, and they'll feel like you stopped caring about them once you got their money. Instead, we have to continue that positive experience and positive messaging all the way through to retain that customer, because it's far cheaper to retain an existing customer or client than it is to win a new one. Throughout this journey, we're going to be tracking stage-specific metrics all along the way to make sure that we're identifying any weak points in the funnel and going in and reinforcing those, or testing different messaging and different visuals to get the most effective marketing possible. The end result is that by the time your prospects get about halfway through this funnel, they're 80 to 90% sold before they ever reach your sales team. That means they are confident that you're the brand they want to choose, and it makes your sales team's jobs so much easier. Then we go to enhance. Now that we've transformed your digital marketing and your reputation as a brand, we don't simply stop there. At Cornell, we have extremely high standards, and we never settle for one and done. Our goal is to take the data that we gather, insights from the marketing team, and what we're learning from MQLs, as well as insights from the sales team and what they're learning from SQLs, and make our marketing machine better and better and better, month over month, year over year. You're investing all of this time and energy into putting out marketing that makes people feel good, but we want to make them feel great. So we're going to track metrics, form hypotheses, run intelligent tests to make sure that we're incorporating the best versions of everything that we produce. This is where we circle back around on this bonus track. We want to make sure that we're constantly informing and improving your marketing machine for greater results month over month. So as we learn in the enhance stage, we're going to take those learnings, put them back into the implementation stage, and continue to transform and elevate your brand month over month. The end result is your brand is going to experience the J curve of a long-lasting, compounding results using the elite method. Leveraging demand generation strengthened with psychological models, you'll see a slow start followed by a steep climb that attracts in your audience, builds demand for your brand, and sets you apart from the competition on a subconscious behavior-changing level. Now, as your brand is going through its own transformation and your marketing strategy is leaning into positive psychology as opposed to manipulation tactics, you're also going to be guiding your ideal buyers through a transformation journey of their own. In my previous career working in drug rehab facilities and community counseling centers, particularly running substance abuse groups and working with individuals who wanted to overcome addiction, we used what is known as the Stages of Change model. The Stages of Change model is a framework that guides people through the process of changing some of the most deeply ingrained and chemically dependent behaviors affecting their lives. Now, if that model can work to change behaviors that are so challenging to overcome, it can also be applied to helping your ideal buyers change their buying behaviors from either doing nothing or purchasing from your competitors to actually purchasing from you. In the learn step of the elite method, you'll map out your ideal buyer's internal experience using these stages of change and the CBT triangle. You'll then build out your marketing strategy in the implement step of the ELITE method, careful to fill in the gaps and make the process seamless, which will guide them through the stages of change, which include pre-problem awareness, problem awareness, brand and solution awareness, consideration, evaluation, decision, action, and finally, retention. And you probably noticed as we started to get to the end that these strongly match the sales funnel of brand awareness, interest, decision, action, and retention. Again and again, we see how psychological models of behavior change align with the marketing process. When you apply those behavioral psychology principles to your marketing and you help shape the way that your ideal buyers think, feel, and then act, you're creating a powerful marketing journey that helps your ideal buyers choose you and ultimately helps your brand stand apart far above the competition. And there you have it, the exact method we use to create our psychology-driven marketing strategies for our clients at Cornell. Now, the ELITE method is something that you can start using right away. We feel so passionately about making sure that companies are using ethical, feel-good marketing tactics that heal the relationships between their businesses and their ideal buyers that we want to get this method in the hands of as many marketers as we possibly can. If you're excited about this method and you want to dive into creating your own psychology-driven marketing strategy, you can get our free ELITE Method Toolkit at cornellcontentmarketing.com/elite-toolkit. Of course, we also understand that dissecting human psychology is not for everyone. It's a very meticulous process that combines data analytics of the behavior we can measure with profiling, audience investigation, market research, and empathetic processes that require a ton of attention to detail and understanding the neuropsychology of how certain words, visuals, and interactive behaviors affect things like serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin that then affect the relationship that's being formed between your ideal buyer's brain and your brand. If you want help with employing this model, we can do it for you. You can learn more about our psychology-driven marketing strategy service at cornellcontentmarketing.com/strategy. We can also do it with you. I love teaching this method to in-house teams and equipping them with the skills they need to create psychology-driven marketing funnels. If you want to bring this method and these psychological principles to your team, we can teach you how to do it. Check out our consulting and in-house training for teams at cornellcontentmarketing.com/consulting. But no matter which pathway to the ELITE method you choose, I encourage you to at least try the DIY route. Our toolkit breaks down every step so you can get started on this right away. You can do this for yourself. Get our ELITE method toolkit for free and start building your own psychology-driven marketing strategy at cornellcontentmarketing.com/elite-toolkit. And of course, if you have any questions along the way, book a call with me. I love talking to companies about this and really helping them adopt these principles because it's connecting with the humans, giving them a positive experience that's going to be the constant driving factor to success. No matter what happens in our technology-driven, constantly changing world, the humans are always going to want to feel good. So if you need help deciding what's right for you, if you need help figuring out your own psychology-driven marketing strategy, book a call with me at cornellcontentmarketing.com/book-a-call. Cheers to raising the bar and your results.